Hello there, I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. Thank you for being with me once again. Let's talk about a subject that you are interested in. And first of all, before we go forward, I would like to thank all of you that email me and ask questions or give your comment. Thank you so much. And thank you for those who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and push that bell. And every time I come on, you will be alerted. And when I come on live, we can share the experience, which end up being awesome experience. And I want you to know that I appreciate and value you so very much for what you contribute to every program that I produce. Thank you. Let's talk about something that many of you are writing. Many of you are interested in the aging narcissist. Seem to be difficult when you're raising children, taking them to grandma and granddad, and you done went through horrific times with them, and you notice a cycle that is happening with your children. Let's talk about it. Many of you are saying, what happened to them? It seemed like they get worse. Well, the factor is they do. They get worse in what they do. If they are malignant, they are covert, overt, and somatic, whatever the traits were when they was younger, it intensifies as they get older. They get more experience with it. They dealt with it a longer time. And not only do the narcissists influence the supply, but the supply influence the narcissist, because whatever you allow, the narcissists continue that behavior as they mirror other behavior. They take on different qualities of the supply. And so when you have an older narcissist, they are not as somatic. What I mean by that, their youthfulness is gone. They'll start having some problems in their body. Diseases are showing up, and their attitude is changing, and they're not getting the supply a lot of time as prominent and as fast as they did when they're younger. If they're somatic, they go into all kind of plastic surgery to keep up their look. And if they're cerebral, sometimes they start having faulty thinking. It's foggy thinking, forgetfulness. And if they're covert, they still scheme, dominate, manipulate. And a lot of them, we call them the vulnerable narcissists, because they're telling you their problems. And most of it is in the alternate world. The thing did not happen. They'll make up things to get your sympathy. And then you have the overt narcissists and the malignant narcissists, which can be the dangerous one. They are loud, they're boisterous, and the malignant narcissists can be very, very dangerous. And then you have the sociopathic narcissist, and then you have the psychopathic narcissist. And so all of these qualities that was in the narcissist when they was younger has intensified as they get older. And so the narcissists that are older, they demand to see their grandchildren. And if you don't allow them to see the grandchildren, they accuse you of being unfair. They accuse you of being hostile. They accuse you of not understanding. But when your children come and tell what happened, grandmother was very mean to me, granddaddy was boisterous, or granddaddy was out of order, he touched me, he said this, he did this. And so the narcissists, now that they're getting older and they know they don't have the qualities that they had when they was younger, so now they start to want to live through your grandchildren. And then many times they often compete with the child. They'll try to take over the life of your child because they're competing. They want the attention. They want the time. They don't want the responsibility, but they want the attention. They want the time. And when they help the child, they want the credit because they now have to get their supply in a different way, a different new inventive way, because they don't have the strength to run like they used to. And sometimes they're thinking, they start to lose their memory. They start to lose the ability of certain factors. And so one thing about a narcissist, they're even more manipulative. They're competitive, and they still have that anger, and they still have the blame game. They still blame you for everything that goes wrong. And they say, if you hadn't did this, or if you had to listen to me, and I'm trying to give you wisdom, because the narcissists need that attention, and that grandiosity is more intensive as they get older, because people they don't have their looks. Their looks have changed, so they spend more time getting plastic surgery, especially the somatic, because looks are everything to them. And so they get plastic surgery over and over until they oftentimes change the way their face look, change the way their bodies look, because they keep going. They're a high risk taker. Even as they age, they don't use the wisdom that they need to use because they're irresponsible many times, and they need that grandiosity. They need for you to praise them. They need to be the center of attention, and many narcissists will use their age to get there because they know that it's harder for you to disrespect them as they get older. And narcissists a lot of times take advantage because they are older. They are not careful of what they say. They're even more careless in what they say. They blame you, and then they want to live through your children. They can't get the supply. They can't get it like they used to get. So what they do is offer to help your child, not because they want to help them, because they want to take credit for everything they do. They want to take over their life. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have done that. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have thought that. Well, I helped them accomplish that. I took them. And then instead of it being about the child and their accomplishment, it's about the narcissist helping them to accomplish. So when you get the narcissist to start talking about what they're doing, the narcissist hardly mention that it's the child that ran the race. It's the child that did this. The narcissist start telling you what they did for the child and how they helped the child. And if it wasn't for them, the child would not have accomplished what they accomplished. So they get pictures of them. And the picture is not to praise the child. It is to praise the understanding grandmother, the understanding grandfather, which everybody that knows that is family to them know that it's not true. And then they indict the parents because the parent, they literally want to take over the child because they need credit. They're somatic. They don't have the looks that they used to have. So they goes into plastic surgery and they start competing with their strength, competing against their talent, competing against their beauty. If it's a woman narcissist, a lot of times she's highly competitive, don't want to get old. So they go spend a lot of time with plastic surgery. And then the grandmother would say, you know, you shouldn't do this. You should not wear this. If it's going to enhance them, the grandmother would be against them and very accusational toward them. Why? Because you're taking away from my glory. You're taking away from my grandiosity. So they will always subject themselves to telling you that you need not do what is the best for you. They want you to have second best. They want you to come behind them. Even though they're 80, even though they're 70, they want you to come behind them. And then they accuse you. They fight you because the narcissist, one thing that is easy for them is anger, not caring. Anger. And the narcissist now got all this experience under their belt. They've learned to manipulate. They've learned to intimidate. They learn to dominate. They're liars. And so now they are devaluing the grandchild, and the grandchild fight to not go over there because they know what they're going to go through. But the parents, the grandparents are insistent that you bring that child over to the house. And really what they need is the energy, because now they got to get resource energy in different ways because they're too old to do what they were doing at first, and they're not getting all the supply. And you notice that when you get a male narcissist and they're cheating, or female, they want younger supply. The younger supply is to make them feel like they can keep up, to make them feel with grandiosity, like I still have it. And a lot of times, because they live in an alternate reality, they don't see what you see. They can look in the mirror and they can be 90 pounds, but when they look in the mirror, they see this robust woman, this robust man. They see how handsome they are. Why? Because the narcissist doesn't want the truth. And with the truth, they don't want that. They want you to lie to them. They want to live in an alternate reality because they want to feel that they still have it, because the narcissists do not want to collapse. And we will do that at another time, talk about the collapsed narcissist, because they come to the end of themselves and they have to reinvent the wheel. And the narcissist that was a serial cheater don't have the stamina. And even though they take Viagra and other things, they just don't have the stamina that they used to have. And that's why many narcissists go get younger supply to cheat with, because they need to feel like they are still up to date and innovative in cheating. And a lot of times they cannot keep up. And when the narcissists start to collapse, when the narcissists start to fade away, oh my God, you haven't heard anger. You haven't heard devaluation. You haven't heard discard until you get the narcissist where they can't keep up and someone else seemed to be before them. They go to a party. They used to be the life of the party. Now they're old and people are ignoring them. They feel abandoned. And when they feel abandoned, somebody has to pay the price. Somebody has to pay the cost because nobody ignores me. I'm the life of the party. So a lot of times the narcissist will make up stories and lie so they can get the attention. They will tell you how they went to France, never been to France. They tell you how people trust them and leaned on them, depend on them. That never happened. They'll tell you how people always coming to them. That never happened. So the alternate reality becomes more extensive as the narcissists get older. And the narcissists want the child to feel obligated to them. They want the parent to have the child to feel obligated. And they'll say that you don't care. You're misusing me. I was there for you. And the narcissists know they were not there. You was too busy getting supply. And now you done got older. They want to be served. They want to be acknowledged. They want all the attention to go to them. The narcissists don't care if you're over their house and you're over their house at 2 o'clock and you have to get up at 4. They could care less. They will do anything to register their supply. They will do anything for you to acknowledge them, give them attention. They will even blame you for stuff you didn't do just to get the attention. And sometimes with the covert, they're getting older, so they threaten suicide. They threaten to do things to themselves when all they want is the attention, but they don't know how to just get the attention because pride does not let them, because the narcissists think you are beneath them, and how dare you think that you are above me or equal to me. So the narcissists get the grandchild, and when your child is miserable, don't force them to go to their grandparents' house. Don't make them feel obligated. Don't make them feel like they have to go. They have to do it. They should not have to. And especially as they grow, because they're going through extensive trials, they're going through extensive blame and devaluation by the grandparents. And then competitive, they compete against you. If you are that uncomfortable, what do you think about the child? When the female becomes more flirtatious, she starts showing her body more, she becomes more masculine, she starts competing with masculinity, her hate factor grows, and she don't want anybody to think they're strong. She breaks them down. As an older narcissist female, she used all of the faculties of her femininity, and just as she did when she was young. So she's a serial cheater and she's young. You can only imagine how she's cheating now as she done got older, and she wears her clothes too tight, she wears her clothes awkward, she become more flirtatious, and she's flirting more with the younger men. And because she's one to speak and make a name for herself, an image for herself, she wants you to feel that she still got it. And the narcissists find themselves competing against the young energy, and when that young energy doesn't cater to them, they blame them. They shift the responsibility, and they still have all of the traits of narcissism, but in a greater factor. And the narcissists that are older will make you feel that you're not helping them, you're not assisting them, that you hate them. And so they keep devaluing you, and they keep telling you what you're not doing. And all of those things is the narcissist's personal energy and what the narcissist isn't doing. If you want to know what the narcissist is doing, listen to what they accuse you of, because that's exactly what they're doing. And so this grandiosity that they have, and they feel the need for praise. The narcissists do not want you to praise God. They want that praise, and they have this inanimate need to just for you to be overwhelmed by them. They become the storyteller, and they're telling the story not because they want to grow you, but because it's getting them attention. Come on now. And so they will get plastic surgery when it's their somatic narcissist. And the cerebral narcissist was read more, learn more, so he can know more. And the cerebral narcissist feel like, I better read because I need to have information. Then you got the cerebral narcissist that sometimes is losing their thoughts, and their mind is fogged, and they can't remember certain things. And so they don't remember certain things. And when they're talking, they lose track of the conversation. The older narcissist. And so the young man, the older narcissist would get a young girl, and he would get a young girl in her innocence, overwhelm her, and then he will bring her into his world and still torment her, because the narcissist has learned how to dominate. The narcissist has learned how to intimidate. And when they dominate, when they intimidate, they need that fear factor because they need to control. Domination, intimidation, and what they do is manipulation. They manipulate the situation, and as you begin to hold back and not say different truth, the narcissists get that liberation that, okay, they like it, so I can keep doing what I'm doing. And the narcissist, when you don't deal with it, you don't confront it, in the mind of the narcissist, you want what is going on, you like what is going on. And the narcissist, once you condone them, you have problems, because the narcissists expect for you not to give them any rebuttal. And sometimes with the narcissist, they feel that they have a false sense of strength, a false sense of blame, because you won't tell them the truth. And you think, I'm not going to hurt their feelings. I want them to appreciate me. I want to be around them. And then you still got that narcissistic strand, that breadcrumbing. And so you don't want to do anything to offend them, because you want the relationship, but you are tormented with the relationship. You're devalued in the relationship. And that is what's happening with your child. And the narcissist will get them in the ultimate reality and take advantage of them psychologically, because they want control excuse me, of every thought and of the mind of your child. And one thing about the narcissist, many of them will teach your child to go against you, to actually hate you. When you tell your child to go right, the narcissists come up and say, don't go right, go left. I know what I'm talking about. And they will tell you to go left. And they know that you should have went right. And when everything go wrong, then the narcissists don't even take responsibility. They blame you, and they will say, if I had did this, if they had listened to me, then they wouldn't be in this situation. And the truth of it is, life happened. In the midst of living, life happened. It has nothing to do with a person being accusational. It doesn't have nothing to do with what you didn't do. Situations happen. The Bible said that you get experience, and you get knowledge, and you get strength through experience. So you go through trials so you can gain experience, you can gain momentum. And when you get this momentum, the narcissists feel stripped. The narcissists feel violated. Why? Because you are never supposed to be in the head of them. You can be with them or you can be behind them. But the narcissist does not accept that you are more empowered than they are. And they will start to restrict you. So the female narcissist demands attention. She's still highly sexual. She likes them young, just like the male likes them young, because they feel like you are verifying what they think of themselves when you are young. And it takes so much energy, to capture what you want to capture and to have what you want to have. And they talk and talk and talk about all of their accomplishments, all the things they've done. And when they talk about it, they want to be praised. And if you fail to praise them, they take and they're complaining about it all the time when you fail to praise them. So let's recap. Older narcissists is more skilled in what they do. When they are having problems with trauma, when they're having problems with the extensions of what they're doing, they live in a non-reality, and that non-reality becomes their world. And the narcissists want to display themselves all the time, and they don't just want to be there when you don't have it together. They want to be there when you have it together, so they can take credit that the reason it's together is because they helped you, and without them you can't do nothing. And they tell your child that they did it, and they may not have done it, but excuse me, and they take credit for all the accomplishment of the child. They may volunteer. I want to take them to the game. They want to take them to the game, but when they talk about it, the child end up getting angry because they're taking all the credit, and they're using that to bring the attention to themselves. And now your child is angry all the time. They will help you with babysitting, but look at the cost. And now the narcissist is competing with the grandchild to get the attention, because they are always telling you what they did. They are always telling you how you are under accomplished. And so without the narcissist, you can do anything. And so you start accomplishing, you start doing. And if they're there with your game and you grew up with them, they are there because they need the attention, they need the grandiosity. Your child is most miserable. The child can love you because you're the mom, you're the dad, but now it's this competition. When you could stand back and allow the child to accomplish, you say, how do I deal with that? Because now it's worse, because my mom or my dad or both parents are always on me now, telling me what I should do and how I should do it. And when I go to do it, they intercept that and tell me that I need to be devaluated, or I need to get more understanding, because that's God gave them that. And that is what's keeping them going. And so what happens is the narcissist is overtaking everything that you do. The narcissist is taking it. And to grow, you have to step back and begin to see the situation, get strategies for the situation. And when that grandparent will tell you that I did this, and because of this, this is why you are successful, this is why you have anything, it's because I did this. I picked the kids up. I made sure you had coffee. I made sure that breakfast was served. And then they start taking credit for it. And when they start taking credit for it, they start taking credit for every action that you did. They start taking credit for every possibility that you did. So now the grandparents is miserable. And one thing about the child is so respectful, especially when you have a narcissistic parent, because remember, when you go through problems and you are handling that situation and the narcissist is devaluating you, taking the responsibility, taking the credit, and then you turn totally to social media. You don't even want to be around anybody, because the narcissist would not allow you to enjoy true peace. And you are not, absolutely not, everything your mind say you are. The Bible said, but we have the mind of Christ. The Bible also said, excuse me, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. You have to allow a stronger mind. You have to allow the mindset of Christ to overthrow, overrule, and throw out everything that comes against you. And God will increase you. God will allow people to see your love and your faith. So, I pray that I've answered some questions. As we continue along this, we will grow. And as you grow, the truth, the Bible says you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I want to thank you for joining me. Continue to send me questions. Continue to ask those beautiful questions and get the answers. Thank you so much for those of you that have gotten information, and those of you who are saying, boy, I don't know what's wrong with my grandparent. They're different than what they used to be. They are not different. It's that they become more extensive and they have more time. And that's why God give us people in our lives to register who we really are. So as we recap, don't force your children to go to a place they don't want to go. If they don't want to go, don't make them feel obligated. Respect their wishes. And keep information that will continue to strengthen you. You still have to get your mind right. You still have to get your teeth right. You still have to be the one. Since you have to look out for yourself, then you do right that. You look out for yourself. All right? Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate. And don't forget to make sure that you subscribe to this channel, continue to write me, and I'll continue to bring the answers. And I'm still waiting for you. Some of you, if you want to come to Zoom with me, please leave a message. That's Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. And by the way, we're almost done with the information. So those of you who want to go to Hawaii, I want to take 50 people with me. Please get your plane ticket, because we get the information and we're trying to make it where it's easy for you, because Hawaii is the most expensive state out of the 50th state. So make sure that you get your ticket and join us for the information with concerning Hawaii, and we'll have that for you shortly. And I know you're going to have a wonderful time. The dates are August 11th through the 16th. On the 16th, we are going to view the island and tour the island. I'm telling you, some of you are going to be so blessed. And then we have Karen, to be free Karen, that we're going to meet, who is a native of Hawaii. So we'll get a chance to meet her. But please join me. If you have questions, send those questions. If you have comments, send those comments. I'm telling you, it's going to be fantabulous. And I'm going to see you on the next video. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye.